Welcome back to the channel, my dear friends. I want to begin by saying thank you. Thank you for your thoughtful comments, your courage, your honesty. I read your stories about marriage after 30, 40, even 50 years. I read your questions about menopause, about feeling unseen, about wondering if desire fades with time. And I want you to know, nothing you are experiencing is strange, and nothing about you is too late. As many of you know, I've spent decades working with couples navigating intimacy through midlife and beyond. And today, we're going to talk about something that isn't discussed nearly enough, but absolutely should be. Let me ask you something gently, woman to woman. Have you ever wondered why a man sometimes wants to kiss you there, slowly, intentionally, almost reverently? And have you ever felt a mixture of confusion, vulnerability, maybe even self-consciousness about it? If so, you are not alone. Many women over 50 carry quiet questions about this. Is it just physical? Is it selfish? Is it something he wants for himself? Or is it about me? And perhaps beneath those questions is an even softer one. Am I still desirable enough for him to want that? Let's begin with the hidden emotional truth. For most emotionally connected men, this act is not about conquest. It is not about performance. It is not about taking. It is about giving. It is about closeness. It is about being invited into the most vulnerable, tender space of the woman he cares for. Men are often socialized to show strength through action, but intimacy, especially this kind of intimacy, is one of the rare moments where a man can express devotion without words. It is deeply symbolic. It says, I am here. I am focused on you. I am not rushing. I am present. Biologically, there is something else happening. When a man slows down and directs his attention in this way, his brain releases bonding hormones, the same chemicals associated with attachment and trust. His nervous system shifts. He becomes calmer, more connected. This is not purely instinctive desire. It is relational wiring. And yet, so many women in midlife misunderstand this. I once had a patient, let's call her Linda. She was 62, married for 35 years. After menopause, she told me she felt like her body had betrayed her. She felt drier, softer in places she used to be firm, unsure of herself in ways she never had been before. When her husband tried to be attentive in this way, she would gently push him away. I don't understand why he wants to do that, she told me. There's nothing special about me anymore. Her voice broke when she said it. What she didn't realize was that her husband wasn't seeing flaws. He was seeing the woman he had built a life with. He wasn't focused on comparison. He was focused on connection. When we unpacked it together, she began to understand that his desire wasn't about perfection. It was about intimacy, about honoring her, about closeness that words could not achieve. And this is where the misconception needs to be reframed. For many men in long-term relationships, this kind of affection is an expression of trust. It is deeply personal. It requires vulnerability from him, too. He is placing himself in a position of attentiveness, not dominance. He is choosing to slow down. That matters, especially after 50, because here is what no one told our generation of women. Aging does not reduce desirability. It refines it. It deepens it. It makes it more emotional, more meaningful, more intentional. In your 20s, intimacy may have been about excitement or validation. In your 50s, 60s, and 70s, it becomes about devotion. The male desire to kiss you there often carries a psychological message, I want to cherish you. It is less about urgency and more about immersion, less about outcome and more about presence. But if you've been raised in a culture that treated female pleasure as a taboo, or your body as something to hide once it changes, you might struggle to receive that kind of attention. And that is understandable. Many women over 50 grew up in households where intimacy was never discussed. Pleasure was not framed as something women were allowed to fully experience. You were taught to be modest, to be polite, to meet needs quietly. So when a man's desire centers on you, it can feel unfamiliar, even overwhelming. But here is the truth. Desire centered on you is not selfishness, it is admiration. And admiration does not expire with age. In fact, many men report that they feel more emotionally drawn to their partners as the years pass. Physical attraction evolves. It becomes tied to history, shared memories, resilience, forgiveness, laughter. When a man chooses to be attentive in this way, he is often saying, "I see you," not the younger version, not a comparison, you. Your body has carried children, endured stress, survived heartbreak, navigated menopause, supported others for decades. It deserves tenderness, not judgment. So if you've ever felt hesitant or thought, "Why would he want that now?" I want you to gently challenge that belief. Perhaps the better question is, what if he wants it because you matter more now than ever? And that realization is where transformation begins. Because once you shift from insecurity to understanding, something softens, something opens. You move from resistance to curiosity. And curiosity is the first step towards reclaiming intimacy, not as a performance, but as a shared emotional experience. In part 2, we're going to talk about what happens after 50, the hormones, the body changes, the silence so many women carry, and how intimacy, yes, even this kind, can actually support your health, your confidence, and your relationship in ways you might not have realized. Stay with me. This is where empowerment truly begins. Let's talk honestly about what changes after 50. Menopause shifts your hormones. Estrogen declines. Testosterone, yes, women have it too, shifts as well. You may notice changes in sensitivity, natural lubrication, or overall desire. Your skin feels different. Your sleep patterns shift. Your energy fluctuates. And culturally, there's a dangerous narrative that whispers, "This is the end." But medically and emotionally, that simply isn't true. Intimacy after menopause does not disappear, it evolves. In fact, research consistently shows that affectionate touch, extended kissing, and attentive intimacy stimulate blood flow, release oxytocin, the bonding hormone, and reduce cortisol, the stress hormone. This isn't just about pleasure, it's about circulation, mood stabilization, immune support, and cardiovascular health. Your body still responds, it simply responds differently. But shame can interfere. Many women from your generation were never taught how to talk about their needs. You may have spent decades prioritizing children, careers, aging parents. You became the caretaker, the organizer, the responsible one. Now, when intimacy centers on you, it can feel indulgent or vulnerable. And vulnerability is frightening when your body feels unfamiliar. I've sat with women who say, "I don't feel as confident as I used to." And yet, when we explore that statement, what they really mean is, "I don't feel as young as I used to." Youth and desirability are not the same thing. Confidence is not about tight skin or a certain number on a scale. Confidence is about comfort in your own presence. Men often sense that shift more than you realize. When you relax, when you allow yourself to be touched without apology, when you stop mentally criticizing your body, the energy changes. Intimacy becomes warmer, safer. Emotional safety is the foundation here. If a man is drawn to kissing you there, it is often because he feels safe with you. He feels accepted. He wants to create a moment where you feel equally safe. Communication is key. Not explicit instructions, just openness. You might say, "I feel a little shy about this," or "It helps when we take our time." Those simple statements invite partnership instead of pressure. And here is something deeply important. Intimacy after 50 is a choice. It is not something that vanishes unless you consciously decide to close that chapter. Many couples rediscover each other in this stage of life because the distractions lessen. The house gets quieter. There is space to focus on each other again. This is an invitation, not a limitation. If you want to feel more comfortable, preparation can be gentle and self-directed. A warm bath, soft lighting, music that relaxes you, moisturizers designed for postmenopausal skin, breath work to calm the nervous system. These are not techniques, they are signals to your body that you are safe. Mindset matters most. If you approach intimacy thinking, "I hope he doesn't notice my changes," your body will tense. If you approach it thinking, "I deserve tenderness," your body will respond differently. Remember Linda from part 1? Once she began to see her husband's attentiveness as devotion rather than scrutiny, everything shifted. She allowed herself to receive instead of deflect. And her words to me months later were unforgettable. "I feel desired in a way I never did when I was younger," she said. Because now it wasn't about proving anything, it was about connection. Intimacy after 50 can be slower, more intentional, less about urgency and more about savoring. And that slowness is powerful. When you let go of performance and lean into presence, you rediscover parts of yourself you may have silenced decades ago. You are not too old. You are not too changed. You are not past your prime. You are simply entering a deeper chapter. And in part 3, I want to speak directly to you, to the woman watching right now who wonders if she can reclaim confidence, desire, and connection in this stage of life. Because the answer is yes, and it begins with how you see yourself. Let me slow this down and speak directly to you now. Not to the younger version of you, not to the woman you were at 25 or 35, not to the version shaped by comparison or cultural expectations. I'm speaking to the woman you are today, with wisdom in your eyes, history in your heart, and a body that has lived a full, complex, beautiful life. You may not say it out loud, but I know many of you quietly wonder, am I still truly wanted? Not loved in a polite, companionable way, not appreciated for loyalty or motherhood or shared history, but wanted. And when a man desires to kiss you there, slowly, attentively, without rush, it can stir emotions that go far beyond the physical. It can feel exposing. It can feel tender. It can even feel confusing. But here is what I want you to understand at the deepest level. For many emotionally connected men, that desire is rooted in reverence, not appetite. It is about closeness without barriers. By this stage of life, intimacy is no longer about proving masculinity or measuring performance. It becomes about connection. It becomes about choosing presence over distraction. It becomes about slowing down long enough to truly experience the person in front of you. And that person is you. Aging does something powerful to relationships. It strips away illusions. It removes the urgency of youth. It reveals what is sustainable and what is not. What remains, if nurtured, is something far more profound than chemistry alone: devotion. When a man leans into you with care and attentiveness, he is not comparing you to younger bodies. He is responding to familiarity, shared memories, the woman who stood beside him through decades of life. The lines on your skin tell stories he remembers. The softness of your body carries years of comfort. Your scent, your voice, your laugh, they are woven into his nervous system. Desire after 50 is not visual alone. It is emotional memory. And yet, mindset can either open the door to this depth or quietly close it. If you approach intimacy thinking, I hope he doesn't notice what's changed, you will brace yourself. Your muscles will tighten, your breath will shorten. You will disconnect before the moment even begins. But if you approach it thinking, he is here because he chooses me, something extraordinary happens. Your body softens, your breathing deepens, your nervous system relaxes. And relaxation is the gateway to pleasure, bonding, and connection at this stage of life. So much of intimacy after menopause is about safety. Hormonal shifts may alter sensation. You may need more time. You may need more emotional reassurance. And that is not weakness, it is wisdom. You know yourself now in ways you never did at 25. You know what feels loving. You know what feels rushed. You know what feels authentic. And that knowledge is power. If you have felt hesitant about receiving this kind of affection, ask yourself gently, is my hesitation about him, or is it about how I see myself? Because often the barrier is internal. Many women were raised to prioritize everyone else, to be accommodating, to minimize their own needs. So when intimacy becomes centered on them, it feels unfamiliar, even indulgent. But pleasure within a loving relationship is not indulgence, it is bonding. When your partner focuses on you, oxytocin rises in both of you. This is the hormone of trust and attachment. Cortisol, the stress hormone, decreases. Your heart rate slows. Your body shifts into a restorative state. This is not frivolous. It is physiological nourishment. And here's something I want you to hear clearly. Your body does not have to look like it once did to be worthy of devotion. Desirability is not youth. It is presence. There is something profoundly magnetic about a woman who allows herself to be cherished without apology. Not because she thinks she's flawless, but because she accepts that she is enough. You have earned that acceptance. You have navigated pregnancies, or perhaps infertility. You have endured hormonal storms, career stress, caregiving, grief, reinvention. Your body has adapted and survived. It deserves tenderness, not criticism. If you are in a long-term partnership, consider having an honest conversation, not a dramatic one, a gentle one. You might say, sometimes I feel a little self-conscious, but I'm learning to let myself relax. That single sentence invites closeness instead of distance. Vulnerability is not weakness, it is intimacy's doorway. And if you are single, perhaps dating after divorce or widowhood, remember this: the right partner will approach you with patience, with respect, with curiosity about who you are now, not who you once were. You are not competing with younger women. You are offering something entirely different: depth, emotional literacy, stability, confidence earned, not borrowed. When you allow yourself to receive affection, even the kind that once made you shy, you send a powerful message to your own psyche. I am still alive. I am still desirable. I am still worthy of touch. That message reshapes how you carry yourself in everyday life. Intimacy is not separate from confidence. It feeds it. So let me ask you something gently. What would change if you stopped apologizing for aging? What if you saw every change not as loss, but as evidence of experience? What if you softened instead of hiding? There is a quiet sensuality that emerges after 50 when a woman stops chasing validation and starts embracing presence. You no longer need to impress. You no longer need to perform. You simply need to be. And being, fully, honestly, without self-rejection, is profoundly attractive. When a man wants to kiss you there, it can be a moment of surrender for both of you, a moment where conversation pauses and connection speaks. You do not have to rush it. You do not have to perfect it. You simply have to allow it. Allow yourself to feel. Allow yourself to receive. Allow yourself to be seen without armor. Because the real invitation of aging is this: intimacy becomes intentional. It is no longer assumed, it is chosen. Chosen in long marriages, chosen in second chances, chosen after heartbreak, chosen after menopause, chosen after self-doubt. And when something is chosen, consciously, willingly, it carries far more meaning. You are not fading, you are refining. Your sensuality may be quieter now, but it is deeper. Your body may be softer, but it is wiser. Your desire may be slower, but it is more intentional. There is beauty in that. So as we close today, I want you to hold this truth. You are not too old to feel wanted. You are not too changed to be desired. You are not past the season of tenderness. You are in a new season, one that invites courage. Courage to speak openly, courage to relax into affection, courage to see yourself through kinder eyes. If this resonated with you, I would love to hear from you. What has intimacy after 50 taught you? What fears have you overcome? What are you still navigating? Share your thoughts in the comments. Your story may give another woman permission to soften. If you found reassurance here, consider sharing this video with a friend, a sister, or someone who needs to hear that aging does not erase desire. And if you're ready for more honest, compassionate conversations about health, intimacy, and confidence in this beautiful stage of life, make sure you're subscribed. You deserve connection that deepens. You deserve affection without apology. You deserve love that grows richer with time. And it is never, not at 55, not at 65, not at 75, too late to reclaim it.